Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasinubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Shri Vas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, good evening, dear devotees. Now we're going to continue our Bhakti Shastri course, and I'm very happy to see all of you. Hope you are doing well, and we're going to discuss 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is called Purushottama Yoga. Purushottama Yoga, it is the title of this chapter in Sanskrit language, and in English language. In English language, it will be the yoga of the Supreme Person. Okay, let's start. So the first verses from 15.1 to 15.5, the process is how to become detached from the material world is described here. The first 5 verses of this chapter, it is section about how to become detached from the material world. So let's start verse number 15.1. Dvarakadish Prabhuji, would you like to read the verse? Good evening. Would you like to read the verse?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person, text 1.
Yeah.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha Uddhava Moolam Adasakam Asvatam Prahur Avyayam Chandamsi Asya Prananani Yastam Vedasa Vedavid. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is a knower of the Vedas. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay, good evening again. And this banyan tree, it is analogy. It is allegorical story. Material world is compared with banyan tree, which has roots upwards and branches down. Means everything goes in opposite side here. It goes in particular way in spiritual world, and material world is just distorted or upward reflection of spiritual world. So here in the purport, the destiny of a living entity is described here. The entanglement of this material world is compared here to a banyan tree. For one who is engaged in fruitive activities, there is no end to the banyan tree. Means person will be always able to find something to do here in material world if he is absorbed in materialistic activities. Means he will be achieving something, then he will be achieving some other goals, like those people who are under mode of passion, like we were discussing previously. He wanders from one branch to another, to another, to another. The tree of this material world has no end, and for one who is attached to this tree, there is no possibility of liberation. The Vedic hymns meant for elevating oneself are called the leaves of this tree. These tree's roots grow upward because they begin from where Brahma is located, the topmost planet of this universe. If one can understand this indestructible tree of illusion, then one can get out of it. So in the verse we have a very important word in Sanskrit, ashvatham. Ashvatham. And this ashvatham, if we will look in word by word translation, it means basically a banyan tree. But there is a purport given by Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, which we are going to open now, and to because this explanation, this purport given by Vishwanatha Chakravarti helps one to understand the nature of material world, the nature of material entanglement, bondage. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur explains this word Ashvatha. It can be understood as follows. Shva in Ashvatha means tomorrow. Ashva can thus mean not tomorrow. Stha means today. Stha means stay. Stha means stay. And it becomes grammatically modified here to tha. Thus, Ashvatham can be taken as that which will not exist tomorrow. Very important point. Means these conditions of our life, material conditions of our life, they exist now. But tomorrow it will not exist. Everything is changeable here in this material world. The material world is Ashvatham, not existing tomorrow, both for the devotees and the non-devotees. It won't exist tomorrow for the devotees because they will become liberated tomorrow and attain the spiritual world. The tree won't exist tomorrow for non-devotees because everything they are attached to will cease to exist. Although their attachments will cease to exist tomorrow, the non-devotees' material existence is eternal, as indicated by the word avyayam. Means their own existence is eternal, but attachments are changeable. Today we are attached to some objects, next time in next form of life, because of this reincarnation process, which is also explained in this 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We get other attachments. The attachments of a cat or of a dog are different from attachments of a human being, right? It is different forms of life. So we're going back to Bhagavad Gita, to this text and purport. And here in this purport, it is written about, just one moment. It is written about water. Just one moment. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very important point. There is no ready experience in this world of a tree situated with its branches down and its roots upward, but there is such a thing. That tree can be found beside a reservoir of water. We can see that the trees on the bank reflect upon the water with their branches down and roots up. Such experience we have, right? In other words, very important point. In other words, the tree of this material world is only a reflection of the real tree of the spiritual world. Means that that what we are able to see here is also presented in spiritual world, but it's in its original state. There is love, there is bhakti in spiritual world, and there is kama or lust in material world. It is the same love, but it is distorted. And other things also, like this, how do we call it? Madhurya rasa, and Sakya rasa, and Vatsalya rasa, and we have some kind of analogies in material world, different types of relationships between beloved and between friends and between parents and children. But again, it is polluted with material qualities, with materialistic consciousness, and everything
not
is
a genuine love, Prabhu.
Excuse me?
Not a genuine love.
Exactly, genuine love. Genuine love is in spiritual world.
It is not a genuine love in material world. It is not a genuine love in material world.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no love. Even if it looks like. Anyway, who is our protector? Who is our maintainer? Who loves us in the best way, who can reciprocate in the best way. Yeyathamam prapadyante tam statchaiva bhajam yaham. Supreme Lord only. And other living entities, they are also as we are. They are anu, they are insignificant. Some reflection, like we have this reflection, trees reflection situated on water. So the same way in the material world, something is like reflected, but it is reflected upside down. This reflection of the spiritual world is situated on desire, just as a tree's reflection is situated on water. Interesting point. Means reflection exists because of water, and this water is compared with desires. Where here in material world, swimming in the water of our own desires. We had some desires and we were cultivating different desires in material world. So because of association with three modes of material nature, and now we're swimming in this water, just like Srila Prabhupada, he wrote in this purport, jumping from one branch to another on this tree of material existence. These branches are actually different forms of life. Someone is on the upper branch and he thinks, oh, I'm great. And another is on the lower branch and he thinks, I'm insignificant. But actually, all living entities, all spiritual souls, jivatmas, are insignificant. They are anu. Only Supreme Lord is vibhu. And so this illusion that someone is greater than another, superior, inferior, it is created by, how do we call it? By diversity of material nature. Diversity of material nature. So the same analogy was given already in Bhagavad Gita, the Ferris wheel. You remember? Ferris wheel. Ferris wheel is rotating, and because of this Ferris wheel, living entity sometimes takes higher position in his life, according to the circumstances of the life, sometimes the lower position. So those who are in lower position, usually if they are materialistic, they are envious to those who are in higher position, and those who are in higher position, they are proud of themselves. And then this Ferris wheel turns again, and those who were nothing, they became great, and now they change their places. So this Ferris wheel, this samsara, is always rotating. Desire is the cause of things being situated in this reflected material light. One who wants to get out of this material existence must know this tree thoroughly through analytical study. Then he can cut off his relationship with it. In this 15th chapter, it will be explained how to cut off our connection with this banyan tree of material existence. What is required for this? What is the process? It is called Purushottama Yoga. The name of this chapter is Purushottama Yoga. So the process how to cut off this contact with this banyan tree is also described in this chapter. In this chapter. Now we're going to the verse number 15.2. Narottama Prabhuji, would you like to read this verse? 15.2.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, good evening.
Hare Krishna, good evening, Prabhu. I've got a question from verse 1, Prabhu.
Okay. Ask the question. Please ask the question.
So in the translation, it is mentioned imperishable banyan tree.
Yeah.
So is this referring to the real tree? Is this referring to the real tree?
It is referring to material existence. It is referring to material. Imperishable in the sense that these material universes are going through stages of creation, maintenance, destruction, and again. In that sense, material energy is also eternal, like spiritual energy. But the circumstances are always changeable. That's why this word ashwadha is used, that whatever we have now, it will not be available tomorrow. But banyan tree itself is imperishable. Material world is always available for rebellious souls to stay.
But this banyan tree, is it part of this material world, or is it referring to the one in the spiritual world?
No, it is referred to the material world, because its roots upward and its branches down.
Okay.
Its branches down. So it is about the reflection. There is imperishable banyan tree, which is a reflection of real tree of spiritual world. We're speaking about the banyan tree, which is upside down, which is like material creation. Okay, verse number 2.
Adastatorvam pratarastasya sakha guna pravriddha visaya prabhala adastamulani anusantatani karmanubandini manusya loke. Translation. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna. So you see, it is how materialistic life is going on. Fruitive actions of human society are mentioned here. And Burijan Prabhu, in his book Surrender Unto Me, he mentions that this place where we are now, this planet, Earth planet, is called Karmasthan. Karmasthan, or place where one can accumulate his karma. Means if we go to heavenly planets, to paradise, to Indraloka, it is not that we are about to accumulate any karma at that place. We just waste our good karma there, okay? And if we go to hellish planet, we are just about to experience our bad karma, which we have accumulated here on these planetary systems, which is in between, in the middle between higher planets and lower planets. So Karmasthan, it means, this point is very important. If we understand that this planet where we are now, it is Karmasthan, it means that now we can create our destiny. Just by our actions, we can create our future. We can go to higher planets, we can go to hell, we can go to spiritual world, or maybe we will not go immediately to the spiritual world, but we will progress in such way that birth after birth, Supreme Lord will be arranging the best conditions, the best facilities for us to progress spiritually and to perform devotional service. So it is our choice. This term, Karmasthan, is very important, because in hellish planets, you just experience what you deserve. In Indraloka, you just experience what you deserve. If you deserve Indraloka, then you reach Indraloka and enjoy there for some period of time. But if we are here, we can create our future. So here there are branches of the tree, and there are lower branches and higher branches. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that these branches in this analogy are about different forms of life. There are lower parts of the branches, like human beings, animals, horses, cows, dogs, cats, etc. It is lower part of these branches, and there is upper parts. It is about demigods, Gandharvas, and what are their names? Gandharvas, many others, inhabitants of higher planets. So it is about forms of life. So when we are speaking about living entity who is jumping from one branch to another, like it was written in the previous purport, it means the reincarnation process. It means living entity goes from one form to another form. As a tree is nourished by water, so this tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature. Means that if living entity renders some activities which belongs to any mode of material nature, because of that he creates his future. He gets a new form of life in next birth. Just because of this activities that belong to three modes of material nature, we create karma. If we don't want to create any karma, what is the solution? To practice so-called akarma, devotional service. Otherwise, we will be just jumping from one branch to another. There is a choice, only two options. How Shakespeare in his Hamlet drama, right? To be or not to be, and we can ask ourselves: to jump or not to jump? To jump or not to jump from one branch to another branch? There is only two options. To jump from one branch to another means to remain in samsara, and another option is to practice devotional service and gradually leave this tree, banyan tree of material existence, and the process which will help one to leave this tree is described in this chapter. So tree is nourished by water. Tree is nourished by three modes of material nature, means by conditioned activities that belong to three modes of material nature. By mercy of our founder Acharya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, we know particular activities that are transcendental to three modes of material nature, means that it will not be the cause of our jumping from one branch to another in future. One of the most important processes is to chant holy names of Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Great mercy. No one can concoct this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Only by parampara we can get this knowledge about activities that are transcendental to this banyan tree of material existence. Otherwise, we will be just jumping and jumping like monkeys on this tree, you see? That is the point. So, regarding this point also, twigs. Twigs means the twigs on this tree are the objects of senses. Materialistic civilization is evergreen because of these twigs. It is the reason why they are flourishing, because of this hankering for objects of the senses. Twigs means objects of the senses. And just let's remind ourselves about one point which I forgot to tell you when we were studying the previous chapter. It is related to verse 14.7, but now it is exact time to mention this about this. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, basically he writes about these twigs that we've got to know in the verse 15.2, about objects of senses, about economical development, about material success, and so on. So in the purport to the verse 14.7, it is written, therefore, it is clearly stated here that he becomes associated with the fruits of his activities and thus becomes bound by such activities. It is about person who is under mode of passion. In order to please his wife, children, and society, and to keep up his prestige, one has to work. Therefore, the whole material world is more or less in the mode of passion. And now, please pay attention. Modern civilization is considered to be advanced in the standard of the mode of passion. Formerly, the advanced condition was considered to be in the mode of goodness. If there is no liberation for those in the mode of goodness, what to speak of those who are entangled in the mode of passion? Means, now we're judging which country is the advanced one, which country belongs, it is, how do we call it, low category, from economical point of view. From economical point of view, different countries, like many of countries in Africa, for example, from economical point of view, many of them, they are poverty-stricken. So these United Nations they are judging countries. What countries are successful, what countries are not, mainly from the point of view of economical development. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that formerly the advanced condition was considered to be in the mode of goodness, means what about ecology? What about spiritual advancement? What about happiness of the inhabitants of the country? You know, what about the way to judge that country is advanced was from the point of view of mode of goodness. So mode of passion or economical development of or material success, it is all twigs. It is all objects of the senses on this banyan tree of material existence. And we're going to the verses 3 and 4. And we will ask, whom we will ask? We will ask Mataji Mira to read these verses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Na rupam ashyeha tato palapyate nanto na chadir na cha samprastita ashvatam enam su viruda moolam ashanga sastrena dridena chitva tata padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gata na nivartanti bhuyah tam eva chadyam purusham prabhatye yata pravrittihi prastra purani.
Okay.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with a determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with a weapon of detachment. Therefore, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began, and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So, you see here in this verse, specific place is mentioned. One must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns. It is about spiritual world. We have another verse in Bhagavad Gita where it is written that if you come back to spiritual world, then, this experience of living in material world you already have got, so there is no need to come again to material world. There is such statement in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is looking after, he is looking what we are doing, and he thinks, should I take him to spiritual world or not? Because if I will take him to spiritual world, I will not have any opportunity to get rid from this person if I will not like him. Krishna is Trikalagya. He knows past, present, and future. He knows us perfectly. So because of that, he can understand who is worthy to go back to spiritual world, who is not. And of course, spiritual master, he is representative of Krishna. He can ask Krishna that you please take this person from samsara to your abode. Spiritual master can ask, or Srila Prabhupada can ask. Srimati Radharani also can ask. Also one more option to pray to Srimati Radharani that she would tell Krishna that please accept that rascal and so on. So it is about spiritual world. It is about spiritual world. So in this verse, it is written that one should understand. Just let's look here. With the determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. What does it mean, weapon of detachment? We were discussing this in previous chapter, in 14th chapter, where the symptoms of those people who are transcendental are described. And one of the symptoms is that they are perfect in this yukta vairagya, or real renunciation, genuine renunciation, means for themselves they don't need much, but for Krishna they can accept different things. They are not so much attached to objects of senses, but they can use whatever is needed in Krishna consciousness. So that process was described, how to develop this, to be stable in devotional service, to follow instructions of spiritual master who also shows the example of determination and steadiness in devotional service. Weapon of detachment, it also about knowledge. It is also about knowledge, about Sambandha Gyan, about understanding how everything is arranged, this knowledge which is described in Bhagavad Gita. And this knowledge also helps one to become detached. No one can understand, Srila Krishna says in this verse, no one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. The foundation of the tree, or the root of the tree, means someone, some person from whom everything has started. Everything has started. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that person can start this search by saying, I'm the son of my father. My father is the son of such and such a person, etc. By searching in this way, one comes to Brahma, who is generated by the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. Finally, in this way, when one reaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the end of research work. Maybe you know that some people, they are ordering, they are buying these researches, and some experts, they go to archives just to know, to get to know about the ancestors of that particular person, of that client. And client wants to know who were his ancestors in a previous century, or 200 or 300 years back, or 500 years back, if they are fortunate enough to find these documents where it is written. The answer on this question, who are my ancestors and what is my origin, is given here. The root of this tree is Supreme Personality of Godhead, because everything comes from Him. Bhagavad Gita 14.4, just let's remind ourselves this verse from the previous chapter. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtayah sambhavantiyah tasam brahma mahadhyunir aham bija pradahpita. Aham bija pradahpita, which means Krishna is saying, I am the seed-giving father. Means there is no need to search for this information. Who was my grandfather? Who was my grandfather? There is no need, because we know who is the origin of everyone, and his name is Krishna. We can save a lot of money just because now we don't need to buy this research to know what were our ancestors. But some people, they are curious. They want to know who were the ancestors. In Russia, in Soviet times, ISKCON had troubles. ISKCON was like underground movement, and Soviet government was not accepting this philosophy, and some people were put in jail, and some people, they were put in this, how do we call it? This place where people who are mad, who are crazy, and to that place, how do we call this medical institution in English, by the way? I forgot. What is the name? When the place where people who are mentally diseased, they are placed.
Asylum, mental asylum. This.
Mental asylum. Thank you very much. So some of these people were put in mental asylums, not because they were diseased, but it was some kind of punishment. And they were given these pills, drugs against mental diseases just to take, just by force. It was some kind of punishment. And one of these respected and old devotees from those years, from 80s, it was quite funny. He was not put in jail. He was not put in that mental asylum. He was just, in this court case, he was just like a witness. And he's still alive, and he is kind and wise and sly person, spiritually sly person. So when judge asked him, "What is your name?" He expected to hear the name which is written in passport, and suddenly that devotee, he told Yadu Kulishvara. It was his name, which was given to him by Harikesha Swami Maharaj previously. Now he has another name from Shivarama Swami. His name is Yadu Hari Das. Yadu Kulishvara. And what is your father? Garbhadakashaya Vishnu. The answer was, what is your father? Garbhadakashaya Vishnu. So this dialogue was going on in such way. Yadu Hari Prabhuji originally was interested in Hatha Yoga, and in 80s he met Krishna devotees in Georgia, and maybe he was helping them also to publish books in a hidden way. Maybe yes, maybe no, but he was careful enough, and he was not taking part in these preaching activities in open way. So in this court case, he was just a witness, and no one put him in jail. And he's still alive. He is a cook in Moscow temple, and he gives classes time to time. So here in this purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that this word asanga is very important. Asanga. Sangha means association. A means not associate. There is no association. Srila Prabhupada writes about this association, or better to say about that association is not needed. Association with material energy, association with materialistic people is not needed. Association with sense objects is not needed. Therefore, one must learn detachment by discussion of spiritual science based on authoritative scriptures, and one must hear from persons who are actually in knowledge. As a result of such discussion in the association of devotees, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then the first thing one must do is surrender unto Him, to Him. The description of that place, whence having gone one never returns to this false reflected tree, is given here. So when we are saying asanga, it doesn't mean that we will be just living in a secluded place and we will not be having any association. We will be having association, but association with devotees whose weapon of detachment is strong and can cut any nescience in one's mind, you know. So if we associate with devotees, this determination can be increased. Association increases. Determination increases. Knowledge increases. Spiritual taste increases. It goes like this. If we associate properly in respectful way, and if those devotees are qualified to help others in spiritual life, because this qualification means detachment from illusion, detachment from matter, and attachment to Krishna. Only detachment from matter is not sufficient. Attachment to Krishna also needed. So if we associate with such devotees, then everything is nice. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, to get out of the entanglement of this strong banyan tree of material life, one must surrender to Krishna. As soon as one surrenders unto Krishna, one becomes detached automatically from this material extension. And the qualities of a person who surrenders himself to Krishna are described in the next verse, 15.5. The description of the qualities of one who able to surrender himself to Krishna. It is in the next verse number 5. And how it is possible that if one surrenders unto Krishna, he becomes detached automatically from this material extension? Why this word automatically is used here? Very simple, because again, let's remind ourselves about this verse from Bhagavad Gita, which was listed for memorization also. Verse from the 2nd chapter, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasupyasya param drishtva nivartate. It is about higher taste. Means we surrender to Krishna, we get his mercy, and then we get this taste, and then this word automatically is implemented. It happens automatically because service to Krishna gives higher taste, which are different material objects of senses unable to give. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. So, to experience a higher taste, it is written here, means the practice, spiritual practice is needed. Otherwise, how we will be experiencing, right? That's why in Nectar of Instruction, in the purport to the verse number 3, Srila Prabhupada explains that Bhakti it is not just some kind of emotion or some kind of meditation. Bhakti, it is activity. That's why Srila Prabhupada, he translates this word Bhakti in his books like devotional service. Devotional service means activity. For example, in Shivananda Swami's books, in Vivekananda Swami's books, we can find another translation. Bhakti is love for Godhead, is love for God. But love, it is just some kind of emotion or even sentiment. It is not about activity, just I feel something, that's all. So this translation, devotional service, is better because it is about activity. Without this activity, one cannot experience higher taste. Like there is another analogy which is also given in Bhagavad Gita about a can with honey. You remember, right? A can with honey. You can open this container and you can lick this honey and be happy. Lick and be happy. Lick and be happy. Or some people, they can just lick this container from external side and it will not help them to experience anything. So better you just open this container, you open this can, and then to open the container means to practice, not just to read books like some scientists, some Sanskrit scholars. They are reading books. They are trying to understand it from the point of view of grammar of Sanskrit language, but it is not so much helpful for them because science is science and devotional service is devotional service. Sanskrit will not give this higher taste. Higher taste is in Bhakti. Sanskrit itself will not give this satisfaction. And now let's read about the qualities that are needed to surrender oneself to Krishna. Okay, let's ask Mataji Bhakti Priya Madhavi Devidasi to read this verse. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Rama.
निर्माणमोहजित संगदोष आध्यात्म नित्य विनिवृत्त कामा द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्त सुख दुःख संज्ञैर् गच्छन्ति अमूढ पदम् अव्ययम् तत्. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you see, the qualities are described here, and one can say, oh, not so easy, it is to elevated level of consciousness. That's why we're speaking about guru-disciple relationships. Guru-disciple. Disciple means I'm about to learn something from spiritual master, to get some information, to get some qualities, to get his mercy, his benedictions, and so on. So this verse 15.5 is about the qualities that we should observe in a spiritual master's personality, and that we also can be developed in our heart just by the process of following his instructions. If we follow his instructions, if we serve him, whom you serve, those qualities you develop. Very simple law of nature. Whom we serve, those qualities we develop. That's why it is dangerous to serve to animals. It is dangerous to keep animals at home because one becomes attached to a cat, to a dog, and he thinks naturally, automatically he thinks about his dog or cat, and when he thinks about dog, it is thoughts about dog, it is not thoughts about Krishna. It is not thoughts about, it will be thoughts about dog, and so one should choose whom he is going to worship, to God or to dog. There is a choice. This choice is always here. Srila Prabhupada writes here in purport, the first qualification is that one should not be deluded by pride, because the conditioned soul is puffed up. Thinking himself the Lord of material nature, it is very difficult for him to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should know by the cultivation of real knowledge that he is not Lord of material nature. You remember from 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verses from 8 to 12, qualities of knowledge. And at the very end of the purport to these verses, 13.8 to 12, it is written, we should remember that we are bound by material energy. Maybe you remember this place, right? We should remember about this. We should not think that we are Lord of material nature or we are supreme. So the same point is repeated here in this purport. It is quality of knowledge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Lord. When one is free from delusion caused by pride, he can begin the process of surrender. So one should become free from pride. Usually we become free from pride gradually. Spiritual master helps us to become more and more humble just because of following his instructions. And also, if we accept this discipleship position means to be ready to be corrected and directed. Two things. That I'm ready, that I will be corrected and directed by spiritual master. If this readiness is not there, then humility is not there. Humility which will help one to progress spiritually. If one thinks that he himself knows which path he should follow in his life, what should he do, and so on. So to accept spiritual authority means readiness to be corrected and to be directed. And usually we come to the spiritual life and we take initiation not being completely free from pride or other anarthas, and spiritual master, he patiently and mercifully helps us to get rid from different obstacles on a spiritual path. Otherwise, if we will be just waiting, okay, first let me become qualified as a disciple, then I will accept spiritual master, because I should be responsible. I should accept spiritual master only when I'm ready, when I have all qualities of a disciple. But it doesn't work in such a way, because spiritual master basically is one who is teaching us how to be a disciple. In relationships with them, we understand how to be a disciple. We don't belong to Vedic civilization. This Vedic civilization, this Varnashrama, is not here anymore. Spiritual atmosphere is not available everywhere on the planet. It is not Satya Yuga or Dvapara Yuga or Treta Yuga. The situation is another. So anyway, we take initiation. We can be having some activities, devotional activities in our past lives. But anyway, we have a lot to learn from our spiritual masters. And if we understand that it is so, then naturally we will be humble before spiritual master. It works very simple. So to be free from pride, it is the very beginning of the process of surrender. Surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead, or surrender to his representative spiritual master. Everything starts from humility. Like we remember these qualities of knowledge in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also everything begins from Amanitvam Adam Hitvam, right? Amanitvam Adam Hitvam means to be tolerant, to be humble and meek. You remember? It is the first line in this list of qualities of knowledge. Everything starts from there, from humility, from freedom from pride. Otherwise, externally, we can join ISKCON, we can be initiated, we can even do a lot of things in ISKCON and devotional service and different fields of devotional service, but the success on devotional path, it is not only about external achievements. It is not only about how many books we distributed, or how many harinamas we performed, or how many plates, prasadam plates we distributed, but it is also about transformation of our heart. It is also about transformation of our consciousness. And successful devotee is not only one who achieved something externally. Successful devotee, it also can be someone who is not so prominent preacher or kirtaniya or harinama leader or administrative leader, but if this transformation in the heart happens, then it is success. It is already success. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, pride is due to illusion, for although one comes here, stays for a brief time, and then goes away, he has the foolish notion that he is the Lord of the world. Person is thinking, I'm the Lord of the world, but his duration of his life is so short, especially in Kali Yuga, especially if you don't take precautions, if you are not about to take care of your health. So short lifetime. But anyway, this illusion is so powerful that in all these circumstances, human being is thinking that I am the Lord of the world. So funny, right? And the spiritual master, he helps us to become free from this illusion just by explaining how everything is arranged, how everything works, and it will help us, his instructions will help us basically only in case if we accept his authority. If we are ready to be corrected, directed, then all these instructions will not go in vain. Will not go in vain. Otherwise, one can repeat the same knowledge again and again and no result. Anyway, it is our process to repeat the same things again and again, because we are not Shrutidharas. What does it mean, Shrutidhara? Do you know Shrutidhara? Someone who just have heard something just once in his life and immediately he remembered this for all his life. He is able to memorize just by hearing something once. Shrutidhara. Shruti means to listen. Dhara means to hold something in his hand. Shrutidhara. Now we we are inhabitants of Kali Yuga, we don't have this qualification of Shrutidara, but if we are sincere and honest and humble, then we can succeed on this spiritual path. One has to cultivate knowledge of what is actually his own and what is actually not his own. And when one has an understanding of things as they are, he becomes free from all dual conceptions such as happiness and distress, pleasure and pain. He becomes full in knowledge. Then it is possible for him to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So again, let's repeat the qualities that are needed for to surrender, or in Bengali language we call it Sharanagati. Sharanagati. Gati means way or path, and Sharana means shelter. Sharanagati means path of surrendering oneself to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the qualities that are desirable are those that to be free from false prestige, illusion, false association, to understand the eternal, to finish with our material lust, with the material lust, to be free from dualities of happiness and distress, and to be unbewildered. So no one can say that now I'm decided to surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I think I'm ready. Just by my own efforts, I'm ready. No one can be ready. The guidance of spiritual master is really needed to prepare ourselves for real surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead, you know. It is the whole process. It is continuous process. That's why we use this term Sharanagati, Gati, path or way. It is not just one-time action. It is a long journey. It is long journey, and the level of devotion, level of surrendering oneself to Supreme Personality of Godhead also, it grows. If it grows, it can grow, because it is not a cheap thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have discussed first 5 verses of this chapter, where the process of question.
Prabhu, sometimes we are talking that we need to chant very attentively.
Yes.
This kind of false prestige, illusion, and all kind of things we inhabit. Will we be able to attain liberation? So I'm chanting.
Can you move your web camera again, that we could see the whole your face? And can you repeat your question again? Because I'm not getting the essence of the question.
Sometimes we are advising devotees, we must chant very attentively.
Yes.
In the class, most of the time, we are not discussing about this false pride, illusion, this kind of things. Generally, we are only emphasizing more on service, reading books, chanting Mahamantra attentively,
Yes.
If one possesses these kind of qualities,
will
he able to attain liberation, or will he able to attract Krishna?
Will someone be able to become liberated without developing these qualities, you are asking?
Yeah.
No, because Krishna himself, he is saying in this verse that these qualities are needed. You don't worry. It is normal that on initial stages, usually we are not giving all the details to the devotees, what should be done for spiritual success and so on. And also it is quite sensitive subject matters to speak about pride, to speak about lust. It is for those who are ready to put some endeavors to cleanse their hearts. So this Sangha about these subject matters is also needed, but maybe it is not for how we call it, general masses of people. It is mainly for those practitioners who are ready to do something practical for this, not just to discuss, but to do something practical. Otherwise, if someone is not ready to listen about this, for example, some neophyte, they will think that, I have to put so much endeavors. I'm not ready. And he goes out from ISKCON just because he thinks that I'm not ready. But no one is asking him to pay the full price immediately. We just pay this price part by part. We develop some qualities in the beginning, some preliminary qualification, then we are continuing with this progress gradually. It goes gradually. His Holiness Niranjana Swami Maharaj, he was saying, if a person would know totally what will be the price to attain devotion, no one will be hankering for bhakti. If the people would know how much efforts are needed to put to cleanse the heart, to develop qualities, or better to say, to manifest qualities, because qualities are already there inside. We are souls, we have these qualities that are just covered by material nature. So if to tell about the whole price, no one will remain. But if we will go step by step, and if we will be doing this in quite sweet way, we'll be feeding people with nice prasadam, telling sweet words like it is recommended in 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, austerity of speech, of the speech. So it goes gradually. But anyway, this Bhakti Shastri course also meant for those who want to know how to progress spiritually. And if you know some people with whom you can share this knowledge, those people who are ready to accept it, then you are free to do it. It will be so nice. It is preaching organization. ISKCON is preaching organization. We can preach. We can preach to 3 categories. To devotees, to non-devotees, and to our own mind. To ourselves. So we can be engaged in this activity of preaching. Does it answer on your question?
Yeah, please.
Okay, great. So
generally,
now,
sorry, Guru. Generally, we don't talk about discipline. We only talk about our external engagements, our internal discipline. Generally, we don't talk about our discipline while giving classes and everything. We talk about very high kind of knowledge and everything. That's what I've been seeing for the past many times. So people carry to a different level when they come to ISKCON. Another thing is, when we come to ISKCON, Krishna consciousness, we feel we are much better than any others. This is the basic thing which I've seen many years. I don't know about other countries. Here in Malaysia, we see that. So that is some kind of pride also, So at one time there was a talk going on. We are organizing some program. So we tell them, the devotees and non-devotees, please go to different direction. Immediately one Prabhu come and tell me, don't say non-devotees, everybody is a devotee. That kind of remark. So we cannot consider them non-devotee or devotee, something like that. Spiritually, everybody devotee. Atma-wise, everybody devotee. Maybe body-wise, they are not in spiritual. I don't know.
So was it a statement or a question?
Yeah, the statement is, I think, basically, as a devotees, we got to emphasize more on our discipline.
Yeah.
Follow Siksaskar very closely, like what Mahaprabhu says. Tarnadapi Sunichena, Tarurapi Amanina Manadina Krishna Sadagari. I think before we start chanting that Maha Mantra, I feel that I do this way, to kick my mind or back my mind. Tarnadapi Sunichena, Tarurapi Saisuna, that sloka.
Very nice sloka, yeah. Very good.
Yeah, to humble. If no means I carry power, I get a false ego, I become very arrogant, these kind of things.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you can inspire others also for that.
Yeah, whatever I say, whatever, I may be preaching to somebody, but I myself don't learn. I still got my arrogance. Yeah, this is the thing, bro. Takes a long time to adapt to the situation.
You see, from point of view of Uttamadhikari, it is proper to think that everyone is devotee. But from practical point of view, from point of view of spiritual organization, ISKCON, some differentiation is needed. Like serious devotees, not so much serious devotees, so-called prasada yogis, so-called Krishna friends. Some kind of categories are needed just in the sense that there are some administrative leaders and spiritual leaders, and they should engage people in a particular way. If they don't differentiate, if everyone belongs just to one category, just that everyone is devoted, then how one can manage? So this differentiation is needed from practical point of view. But from point of view of Uttamadhikari, well, yes, it is so. Maybe we should not use term devotee, maybe we should use term practitioner. If we are speaking about practitioners, then we can say that some practitioners are serious practitioners or experienced, and some of them are beginners like this. And from spiritual point of view, yes, everyone is a devotee, that's right. But because we are not Uttamadhikaris yet, we just are saying this not on our own behalf, but on behalf of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, for example, who was thinking like this. And even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, just for the sake of preaching, he was acting like Madhyamadhikari. He was distinguishing between serious devotees and Sahajiyas, for example, or Mayavadis. He hated Mayavadis. So like this, yeah. Thank you very much for your point. Let's go further. The first 5 verses were about the process of entanglement in banyan tree of material existence and how one can become free from this bondage. One can become free from this bondage using weapon of knowledge. Knowledge was described in 13th chapter. And for this process also the surrender to Krishna is needed. Not just knowledge, not just reading books, but also the process of surrender oneself to Krishna. And from practical point of view, to surrender to Krishna means to surrender to his representative, to spiritual master, with understanding that this representative, he will guide me and he will correct me, direct me like this. So it is our surrender in practice, and the qualities that are needed for this surrender we already have described, have discussed in this 5th verse. And now verses from 6 to 11, the reincarnation process, the transmigration process is described here in the verses from 6 to 11. And in the verse 6, the spiritual world is described, where a person who surrendered himself to Krishna will go. He will go to Krishna. So his abode is described in verse 15.6. And we're going to ask Navina Jagannateshwari Mataji, please kindly read this verse number 6.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Na tat mas yati suryo na sa sanko na pavakaha yat gatwana nivartante tat dharma parama mama. Translation: that supreme abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world.
Hare Krishna. So you see, again, the same point, that the place where one goes and never returns, it is a spiritual world. It is repeated here in the verse 15.6. It is about spiritual abode. And just let's compare it with another verse from Bhagavad Gita. It is verse 8.20, where spiritual world also described. It was described previously in verse 8.20. Parastasmat tu bhavanyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yaksa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Yet there is another unmanifested nature, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Because material universes are going through stages of creation, maintenance, and destruction, and again and again. And this spiritual abode is never annihilated, and you will get to know from Shri Upanishad, from one of purports in Shri Upanishad, that this material creation is just 25% of whole creation, and 75% is spiritual abode. Spiritual abode is bigger. Srila Prabhupada gives the comparison that material world is created for rebellious souls, for those who are imprisoned here in material world. The same way, like in city, in country, in city, there can be prison, there can be jail, and jail is there in particular place. It occupies particular piece of land. But you can see that this piece of land where prison is situated is smaller than the whole area of this city, right? So the same way, Srila Prabhupada gives this analogy. The same way, material world is just 25% of the whole creation. 75% is spiritual abode. This knowledge, which is given in verse 15.6, it is positive motivation. Maybe you remember from 13th chapter, verses from 8 to 12. 13.8 to 12. One of the qualities of knowledge, to know that Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi means birth, death, diseases, and old age. It is not good. It is one of the qualities of the knowledge. And in the purport, in that 13th chapter, Srila Prabhupada explains that this negative motivation is needed, this understanding that we are in samsara, samsara is not good. It is negative motivation which is needed. And this verse 15.6 is about positive motivation. So we combine both negative motivation and positive motivation all together. And in the last paragraph of the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes about important words, Sanskrit words of this verse 15.6, paramam mama, paramam mama. The words paramam mama are very important here. Actually, every nook and corner is the property of the Supreme Lord, but the spiritual world is paramam, full of 6 opulences. You remember these 6 opulences, right? Glory, knowledge, beauty, what else? Glory, beauty, knowledge.
Wealth.
Wealth. Yeah, wealth. Yeah, wealth. Well, yes, exactly. Renunciation and what else?
Fame.
Fame. Fame. No, glory I already told. Fame or glory. Again, 6 opulences of Bhagavan. Just
Strength.
Yeah, strain. Yes, exactly. Strain. Okay, so these 6 opulences are there in the spiritual world. The Katha Upanishad 2.15 also confirms that in the spiritual world there is no need of sunshine, moonshine, or stars. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. For the whole spiritual sky is illuminated by the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. That supreme abode can be achieved only by surrender and by no other means. Maybe you have heard such statement, no one can buy a ticket to Vrindavan. Means you can buy ticket to Vrindavan, but to buy ticket for Vrindavan, it means not only to buy railway ticket to Vrindavan, but also to have particular mood in which we visit holy places. maybe you have heard such statement that it's not sufficient just to buy such ticket. So this mood of surrender, which was described in previous verse, is needed to achieve this place where there is no need of sunshine, moonshine, or stars. And in our book, Srila Prabhupada's quotes, we have a very nice quote related to this subject matter. Just let me open this. Let me open this this quote where it is. Just one moment. It is another one. It is another one. Where it is? Just here. 65, page 65. Page 65. Srila Prabhupada is preaching to devotees in Nairobi. Nairobi, it is Kenya, right? Am I right? Nairobi, Kenya. Or it is another country. Okay, it is Kenya. Okay, so he's trying to inspire devotees. At least one life. So at least one life, try to going back to that place, spiritual world. Then your whole problem will be solved. Here we're paying so much electricity bill, and if there is no sun, we are rotten place. So why do you suffer in this way? Come here, there is no need of sun, there is no need of electricity. And the prime gain is that if you can go there, there is no need of coming back again. If somebody gives you information, just like if somebody gives you information of America, that America is very rich city, that there are so many big bridges and road and motor cars, so naturally you become inclined. Why not see once America how it is? So similarly, here is the information about the spiritual world, and why don't you try to go back to home, back to Godhead? So why, very interesting point, why should you pay the electric bill? Huh? What is this foolishness? Why should you pay the electric bill? Go there and live there. There is no need. Natat bhasayate. The spiritual world is not lighted by the sun, moon, because everyone is effulgent. Every planet is effulgent, so therefore there is no need of these things. There is no ignorance, there is no scarcity, there is no miserable condition. That is called Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means Vigata Kuntha Yasmad Iti Vaikuntha, means place where there is no anxieties. Srimad Bhagavatam 3:28-21, Nairobi, 1st of November, 1975. Very interesting argument that you go to spiritual world, no need to pay for electricity. In some countries, electricity is very expensive. So in some countries, this argument is really good. Just let's go there and we will not have to pay for electricity. Now we're going to the next verse, and it will be verse number 7. Just one moment. Let me open this page. Bhagavad Gita 15.7, where our situation is described, means in previous verse we have got knowledge about spiritual world, and in this verse 15.7 our position now, here and now, our conditioned position is described, which we have now. Because we are not in spiritual world yet, so this position is described in this verse 15.7, which is mandatory for memorization according to our Bhakti Shastri standards. And Mataji Keshavi Palini, please kindly read this verse. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Mana Sastan Indriyani Praktistani Kasati. Translation: the living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So you see, there are 6 senses. There are 5 gyanendriyas, means our ears, our eyes, our tongue, our nose to smell, and what else? Skin to feel, to touch. And the 6th one is the mind. It is called 6th sense. And in purport, Srila Prabhupada writes about the importance of the words Mamai Vamsho, fragmental parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. These words are very significant. The fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord is not like some material broken part. We have already understood in the 2nd chapter that the spirit cannot be cut into pieces. So this fragment is not materially conceived. It is not like matter which can be cut into pieces and joined together again. That conception is not applicable here because the Sanskrit word sanatana, eternal, is used. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke, and the 2nd line goes like Jiva Bhutach Sanatanaha. They are my eternal Sanatanaha, eternal fragmental parts. It is also stated in the beginning of the 2nd chapter that in each and every individual body the fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord is present, the Hinus Min Yadhadehe. That fragmental portion, when liberated from the bodily entanglement, revives its original spiritual body in the spiritual sky, in a spiritual planet, and enjoys association with the Supreme Lord. It is, however, understood here that the living entity, being the fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is qualitatively one with the Lord, just as the parts and parcels of gold are also gold. It is Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva philosophy, that qualitatively we are one with the Lord, but from the point of view of quantity, we are Anu, insignificant, and he is Vibhu, he is great. So we have a good quote from Srila Prabhupada Quotes book, which emphasizes this point. It is page 138. And here Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10, he explains the consciousness of a living entity who became akamaha. Akamaha means he is free from material desire. He is free from material lust. It is one of the qualities to surrender to Krishna. So he explains how it this situation that living entity acts according to his original nature as part and parcel of Krishna, how this happens. He explains this in this purport. A living being naturally being the part and parcel of the Supreme Whole, Purusham Purnam, has as his natural function service of the Supreme Being, just as the parts and parcels of the body or the limbs of the body are naturally meant to serve the complete body. Desireless means, therefore, not to be inert like the stone, but to be conscious as one's actual position and thus desire satisfaction only from the Supreme Lord. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this desireliness as Bhajaniya Paramapuru Asukha Matra Sva Sukkhatvam in his Sandarbha. This means that one should feel happy only by experiencing the happiness of the Supreme Lord. This intuition of the living being is sometimes manifested even during the conditioned stage of a living being in the material world, and such intuition is expressed in the manner of altruism, philanthropy, socialism, communism, etc., by the undeveloped minds of less intelligent persons. In the mundane field, such an outlook of doing good for others, to others, in the form of society, community, family, country, humanity, is a partial manifestation. Interesting point. In Shri Upanishad, you also will get to know more about details about this point. That how this desire to serve Krishna, this is natural desire, it is our nature to serve Krishna, but how it becomes distorted in material world in different forms of ism, when living entity, when human being is serving to society, community, family, country, humanity, and so on, and he has his own conception what to do in order to make everyone happy, you know? And usually these conceptions, because they are concocted by conditioned minds, they doesn't make no one becomes happy because of these conceptions. It is partial manifestation of the same original feeling in which a pure living entity feels happiness by the happiness of the Supreme Lord. Such superb feelings were exhibited by the damsels of Raja Bhumi for the happiness of the Lord. The gopis loved the Lord without any return, and this is the perfect exhibition of the akamaha spirit. Kama spirit, or the desire for one's own satisfaction, is fully exhibited in the material world, whereas the spirit of akamaha is fully exhibited in the spiritual world. So Kama spirit is exhibited in 25% of existence of creation, and akamaha mood, akamaha spirit is exhibited in 75% of creation. Just let me check one quote. I think maybe we can take this example. Example of Mahatma Gandhi. Example of Mahatma Gandhi. It is very interesting example. When conditioned living entity, he is trying to make others happy using different ideologies, different isms, communism, socialism, nationalism, and so on and so on. So nice example is given here in Bhagavad Gita class in 1966, New York, 27th of November. Whatever they are doing something, but at the end they will find it is frustration. They are not happy. Take, for example, we have practical experience in India. Mahatma Gandhi, he was a great worker for national emancipation, but at the end he was so much disgusted that I have seen personally. Wherever he used to go, he used to plug his ears like this. Why? Now, wherever he would go, thousands of people would gather and will cry, Mahatma Gandhi ki jai. Mahatma Gandhi ki jai. All this Indians, they were disturbing their national leader just by shouting Mahatma Gandhi ki jai. So he had to use earplugs, and he also couldn't sleep nicely in hotels where he was staying because the crowd was shouting Mahatma Gandhi ki jai on the street, and this sleep was not possible for him. So the poor fellow could not sleep even. The very morning when he was, assassinated, well-known story, assassinated, he said to his secretary, I'm so disgusted, I wish to die. You see, this very word was published in the newspaper. Now see, such a big worker, simply a worker, but still he felt baffled. So what to speak of others? So mokha karma naha, unless we become Krishna conscious, then all our activities will be baffled at the end. So it is the way how living entity is trying to replace his natural position, to devote his efforts to Krishna. It is his natural position, but he is trying to replace Krishna with something else. Like, for example, with Bharat Mata ki jai. Bharat Mata ki jai means India. For those who don't know, I'm just explaining that Bharat, it is name of India, official name. In India, they now use only this name for the country. So if we are trying to replace Krishna with something else, we will not be happy and our efforts will be baffled at the end. It is a nice example of Mahatma Gandhi, and those who study history of different countries, maybe they can find some more examples of people who did a lot of things, great things for humanity, but at the end they were not satisfied. And we're going further. We're going to the verse number 8. Number 8. And in the verse number 8, it is explained that this reincarnation or transmigration process depends on the state of one's mind when one is about to leave his body. What's going on in his mind? It influences on his future. And we're going to ask someone, for example, Mataji Divya, we're going to ask you to read this verse.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, good evening.
15.8 Sharira yad avapnoti yad chapi utkarmatishvara grihitai samyati vayu gandha ivasayad. Translation: the living entity in the material world carries his different conception of life from one body to another as the hair carries aromas. Thus he takes one kind of body and again soon quits it to take another. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So you see, it is the process of transmigration, or the same process can be called, again, if we will link it to the previous verse, it can be called karshati. Transmigration or reincarnation or karshati, it is all the same. Karshati means to struggle in material world, like it is written here in word-by-word translation. Struggles of material life are described here. We are continuing to read about these struggles. So the example is given that air carries aromas, so the same way we have different aromas in our minds. And these aromas, some aromas are good, some are not good. The aromas of our desires, of our material desires. And Supreme Lord, Super Soul, He is always near, and He is able to experience everyone's smell, you know? He is so tolerant. He is so tolerant. If we will experience someone's smell, some smells are okay for us, but some smells are really unbearable, right? But Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is Supreme Personality, not just personality, Supreme Personality. He is able to perceive, and not just to perceive, but also to reciprocate on each and every aroma which comes from one's heart, the aroma of their consciousness or their desires. So the same way like air carries aromas, so the same way we carry different conceptions of life from one body to another. It means what? It means if this idea of nationalism, it was there in Mahatma Gandhi's mind. It means next birth he will carry the same idea and he will continue this activity somewhere. We don't know where. But if we have particular idea, Supreme Lord will arrange everything in such way that we will be able to continue the same way. The same way, if we are practicing devotional service seriously, then Supreme Lord will arrange facilities and circumstances our next birth in such way that we will be practicing nicely and everything will be arranged and everything will be favorable. At least it will be more favorable than it is now. And it is good to know that Krishna reciprocates on these aromas, on these desires. Also, Burijan Prabhu, he gives the analogy, another analogy. He says like this: mind attracts gross body, our mind attracts our next gross body the same way like a magnet attracts iron nail. Magnet is attracting iron nail the same way we can attract particular type of body and particular circumstances of our life just by developing particular mindset. So Srila Prabhupada is warning all of us that you please people don't pay too much attention and don't be too much involved in these 4 animalistic activities like eating, sleeping, mating, defending. It is natural things of our life, but if any of this animalistic activity will become the purpose of our life, then there is a chance to get a lower form of life. There is a chance to become an animal, a dog, a hog, and so on, because the same way this gross body of a dog or of a hog will be attracted by our mind like a magnet attracts iron nail. This mind is compared to the chariot driver. It is famous analogy from Bhagavad Gita. Mind is compared with chariot driver or with taxi driver if you wish. So Srila Prabhupada gives an analogy regarding this driver, and this analogy explains us how it is important to control our mind. It is so important for our spiritual life, for our future. He explains this in his room conversation with Svarupa Damodara in Atlanta, 28th of February 1975. You have got good car, but the driver is a madman. Such example is given. You have got good car means body, means kshetra, body. You have got good car, but the driver is a madman and he is creating disaster, and you psychiatrists are going to cure it. You never say that the driver is bad, change him or just educate him, then there will be no disaster. But you are taking your fees and giving some repairing in the car. But you do not know what is the original cause of disaster. It is not chance due to the bad driver. So our propaganda is to give the bad driver nice knowledge so that he can drive the car to Vaikuntha. It is exactly what we are discussing in this 15th chapter, that by weapon of knowledge, weapon of detachment, one can go to spiritual abode by surrendering himself to Krishna. That is our position, and these rascals, the materialists, they are simply painting the body of the car, and the driver let him starve. That's all. All these medical men, psychiatrists, they are simply painting the body of the car. That's all. So it is one quote about mind which is compared with madman, with mad driver, and another quote also about the same driver. It is from Bhagavad Gita class given in 1979 in Los Angeles, February of 14. Mind is the driver, the body is the chariot or car. So just like if you ask your driver, please get me into Krishna consciousness temple, the driver will bring you here. And if you ask your driver, please get me in that liquor house, the driver will drive you there. The driver's business is to drive you wherever you like. Similarly, your mind is the driver. If you lose control, then wherever he likes, he will take you. Then you are gone. Then your driver is your enemy. But if your driver acts on your order, then he is your friend. So it is one of the laws of successful spiritual life to have power to give orders to our mind. Means mind is not our master. He should be our servant. He should follow the orders given by spiritualized intelligence, given by Guru Sadhu Shastra. Otherwise, if we are just following this mind, there will be disaster, because this mind, materialistic mind, is like a madman. So mind is not our Guruji. He is not Guruji. He is trying, mind is trying to replace the functions of super soul. If someone is not in spiritual consciousness, if someone is materialistic person, he is trying to fulfill the desires of mind. But spiritual person is trying to fulfill desires of Krishna. So the same inner voice which is inside. If someone is spiritual practitioner, sometimes, very, very sometimes, if he is on the elevated level of consciousness, he can hear some divine voice sometimes, not every day, not each and every 15 minutes, but anyway, some qualification, real qualification is needed for this. If we don't have this qualification, because qualification which is needed is called asakti. Asakti. There are 9 levels of spiritual advancement from Shraddha to Prema. And on level of Asakti, one can understand the voice of Super Soul. Otherwise, if we didn't achieve the stage of Asakti, we can be wrong. We can make a mistake. Whose is this voice? Is this voice of Paramatma, or is this voice of my own conditioned mind? So, but for gross materialists, this process of following his own mind's orders is like a religion. Whatever my mind orders me, that I will be doing. So we should change this position. We should get instructions from spiritual master, from Parampara, from Guru Sadhu Shastra, and then we should have this willpower to order our mind what to do, what not to do. Otherwise, there will be disaster. He is servant, he is just driver. He will drive us wherever we want to go. So these desires are important. It is important to have proper desires. And now we are going to the next verse number 9. And in this verse number 9, it is explained that, again, we have different tendencies and desires in our mind. And through these tendencies, we take birth, one after another, different forms of life. So when this gross body is given, then mind is like in the center of conditioned life. And these senses and these capacities of particular form of life are given to the mind according to the desires of the mind. I mean, there are different forms of life. Some of them, they are flying. Some of them, they are running. Some of them, they are just not moving like trees. So it is only because of particular state of mind. Dvarakadish Prabhuji, please read this verse number 9. Hare Krishna. Microphone. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Srotram chakshusha spasanam cha rasanam grihanam eva cha adhisthasya manasa chayam visayan upasevate. Translation. The living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. It thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. Hare Krishna.
So you see, everything is grouped about the mind. Means mind has particular desires, particular tendencies, and because of that, we get this covering which is around our mind in form of subtle material body, gross material body, and Srila Prabhupada gives nice example here in purport that consciousness is originally pure like water, but if we mix water with a certain color, it changes. Similarly, consciousness is pure, for the spiritual soul is pure, but consciousness is changed according to the association of the material qualities. Means because of this association, mind gets particular qualities, and because of that we get particular form of life, and this consciousness, which is symptom of the soul, also is manifested, but it is manifested in not in pure way, in a colored way. It depends what kind of color. It depends on what kind of color. And here in purport, Srila Prabhupada, he explains that one doesn't necessarily get a human body again. He can get the body of a cat, dog, hog, demigod, or one of many other forms, for there are 8,400,000 species. There is a variety. This variety is about mind only. So many desires, so many tendencies, and qualities, material qualities this mind can have because of the association with material nature. So many species are given here for this, to satisfy the desires of living entity. And it is Krishna's mercy. He gives this species of life. He gives these bodies one after another so generously. We have a quote about this. We have a quote here. Where it is? It is here. Bhagavad Gita 2, 21-22, London, August 26th of August 1973. Krishna knows your desire, that if you want still to enjoy this material world, all right, enjoy. So for enjoying different kinds of enjoyment, we require different kinds of instrument. So Krishna prepares you, so kind, all right. Just like the father gives a toy, the child wants a motor car. All right, take a toy motor car. He wants an engine. He wants to become a railway man. Similarly, Krishna is supplying this toy bodies yantra. Yantra means machine. This is a machine. Everyone understands this is a machine. But who has supplied the machine? The machine is supplied by nature, material ingredients, but it is prepared under the order of Krishna. Krishna gives order to material nature to fulfill the desire of living entity, and Mahamaya, she is eternal and very qualified servant of Supreme Lord. She is supplying all these material ingredients, and everything happens according to Krishna's arrangement. So very nice comparison is given here, that these bodies are given to us like the father gives a toy to a child. We want to swim or we want to fly. You want to fly? Okay, become a bird. Your desire to fly will be fulfilled, and so on. So devotees, they should be cautious. They should be cautious about their desires. They should think what kind of desires they should have. They should analyze what desires we have and what we should have. And what is the purpose of any prayers that we address to Supreme Lord? Sometimes people, they are saying, no need to pray to Supreme Lord because He is situated in everyone's heart. He knows everyone's desires. Why should we pray? He will fulfill anyway. So the meaning of any prayer is that we have different desires. Some desires are beneficial for spiritual advancement, and some desires are not beneficial. So by praying process, we're just showing to Supreme Lord that, oh Krishna, this and these desires you please fulfill, and those desires you please don't fulfill, because I understand that it will be harmful for my life or for my spiritual life or for my life in general. So this conscious choice, we show to Krishna what we want from Him, what we want from our life. Otherwise, if we don't distinguish between our desires, what desires are good and what desires are not beneficial, then we don't know what will happen with our life. Better to pray. When we pray, it is also the process of surrender, because we can express this surrender in our prayers, that I want such and such things in my life that will help me to approach you, and such and such things that are harmful for spiritual life, I don't want, and you please help me to get rid from this, because I'm insignificant. I have no power to purify my own heart by my own, so you please help me to do it. Because you see, we chant holy names. It is purification process. We purify our hearts. But it is not that we purify. We just invite Krishna's mercy in our life, and this mercy, because of His presence, everything becomes pure and spiritualized. Like in Shri Upanishad, you will read that about the qualities of Supreme Lord, Apapavidham and Shuddham. Shuddham means the purest, and Apapavidham means that the sinful activities cannot touch Supreme Lord. Very important qualities. So the same way we just invite Krishna in our life, we are doing our steps toward Him, and He bestows His mercy on us. And that is the meaning of prayers when we're asking Krishna, these desires you please fulfill, and those desires you please neglect. I know that I have these desires from my past, and not so easy to get rid from these desires. But I myself, I know that these desires are not good. Okay, let's read the verse number 10. Narottama Prabhuji, would you like to read the verse number 10? Hare Krishna.
Utkramantam sitam vapi munjanam va gunanvitam vimuda nanu pasyanti jnana chakshushaha. Translation. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you see, now these ignorant people are mentioned here. Those who are unable to understand this process of transmigration from one body to another body. It is not that everyone accepts this knowledge. It is not that it is clear and acceptable for everyone. So the reason why it happens that they are not accepting, there are two reasons. One reason is that their eyes are not trained in knowledge. Means they have no shastric knowledge, they have no spiritual master, they are not following spiritual process, which will help them to purify the consciousness and to understand these things. And the another reason is that they are not so much interested in spiritual life because they are very much involved in materialistic activities. If one is involved in materialistic activities, then it is difficult to pay attention to spiritual subject matters. Usually our book distributors, they are going on streets, they are trying to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, and quite often people they are answering, I'm not interested in, or I have no time, or whatever. So it is the point that there is no interest. There is no interest because there is interest in other things. Like it is written, you can also write down the number of this verse if you wish, because the nature of ignorant people, their consciousness is very nicely described here in the very beginning of second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Verse 2:1-2. Shota vyadini rajandra nrinam santi sahasrashach apashyatam atmatatvam griheshu grihamedinam. Apashyatam, it is exactly means they are blind, they don't see, they are blind to this knowledge. And the translation goes like this: those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, they have many subject matters for hearing in human society or emperor. Emperor means Maharaja Parikshit. Means they have a lot of things to discuss. They are so busy that they don't want to discuss Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. They are already discussing many other mundane subject matters. And verse 2:1-3. Nidraya Hriyate Naktam Vyavayena Chava Vayach Diva Charthe Haya Rajan Kutumba Baranenava. The lifetime of such an envious householder is passed at night either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in the daytime either in making money or maintaining family members. Anyway, people are quite busy with different things. They are not able to find time, and they don't think that it is important to have any time for spiritual life, and they are not trained. That is the reason why this transmigration process is not how to say is not
they don't have the faith, Prabhu. Maybe they don't have the faith on the transmigration process.
Yes, of course. I'm just explaining why they don't have faith in this process, because they are not trained and they have no time because they are already involved in other things. Because of that. Even if one wants to develop faith, he has to put some endeavors. He has to pay attention on this. But they are busy people. We are not interested in it is not my how to say, it is not about me, I have no time, and so on and so on. You see, that is the point. So this verse is about that one should pay some attention and one should have time to absorb himself in spiritual life. Time is needed, efforts are needed, everything is needed, mercy is needed. And so the role of a bona fide spiritual master is described here in this purport. The role of a spiritual master. This requires a great amount of knowledge understood from Bhagavad Gita and similar literatures heard from a bona fide spiritual master. One who is trained to perceive all these things is fortunate. Every living entity is quitting his body under certain circumstances, and he is living under certain circumstances, and he is enjoying under certain circumstances under the spell of material nature. And also in this purport, it is written, if we somehow became fortunate souls, we got to know the spiritual knowledge, we have faith in transmigration process, we know about this, and so on. So at the end of the purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada emphasizes the need of preaching activities. Not only you should have this knowledge, just go and tell someone about this. It is important. Therefore, those who are highly developed in Krishna consciousness try their best to give this knowledge to the people in general, for their conditioned life is very much troublesome. They should come out of it and be Krishna conscious and liberate themselves to transfer to the spiritual world. They're trying to give this knowledge, trying to make people free from troublesome life. It is why Srila Prabhupada came to USA on Jaladuta. He wanted to follow the order of his spiritual master. He wanted to help us with our troublesome lives, to spiritualize our lives, to give us Krishna consciousness. So it is interrelated. You get spiritual knowledge, and then you should find someone with whom you are going to share this knowledge. It would be very nice. Otherwise, if we are not sharing, maybe you remember from 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that there is principle of ahimsa, non-violence. And non-violence means not only to avoid meat eating, but also if someone is not sharing spiritual knowledge which he has, it is also violence. And non-violence or ahimsa, when we are not just enjoying our spiritual life, but also sharing this knowledge with others and sharing this experience with others. Thank you very much for your attention, dear devotees. And if you have some questions or thoughts, then please share this with us. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Oh, Dwarkadish
Generally, a
Prabhu,
comment.
Hare Krishna. Uh-huh.
I just want to share something, Prabhu.
Very active student. Very nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are 3 words I want to share, Prabhu.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, fear, danger, and suffering. Fear, danger, and suffering. For example, if I come to know there is nearby something is going to happen, an earthquake or whatever it is, I will run for my life. Am I right? That is kind of fear, danger, and then there will be suffering, In the spiritual context, Prabhu, I don't think so. These people are having this kind of absorptions, They don't believe this, That's why they're not coming into Krishna consciousness. I don't know what is your feedback on this.
You are asking, should one save his own life in the situation of danger or not, or what is the question?
I mean, what I'm telling, generally people's feeling that what I'm saying is the real situation of life.
Yeah.
There is fear. If there is a war coming in, there is a fear. I know there is a danger.
Yeah.
After that, if anything happens to me, I'll be suffering. This is the coincidence coming together, But if there is, in the real situation, people don't understand there is a transmigration of life. We will end up into animal kingdom, or we are going to suffer. Prabhupada always quoting suffering. So people don't have that kind of faith to understand this, That is what I feel. That is my comment, Prabhu. I don't know
comment.
What is the feedback.
Very nice, but I'm not getting the point. I'm not getting what is. Maybe someone can explain what is the essence of what Prabhuji is saying. Maybe someone can explain.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'll try, Prabhuji. What I understood is that the people of material world, the people who are materialistic, they are not getting the seriousness of coming to Krishna consciousness because they are not thinking that there will be so much suffering. They're always trying to find some or the other means to negate the suffering and still keep enjoying. That fear they don't have, and that is the reason why they're not finding the urgency to come to Krishna consciousness and take our preaching seriously.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, is that correct, Prabhuji, what I told? Hare Krishna, Dwarkadish Prabhuji.
I think one more thing, Mataji, yeah, right, because generally we are seeing in the life today, suffering is there, danger is there, war is there. But the problem, the faith is not there, Mataji. That's what I can see. Whatever the scripture says, the faith is not there.
That's why we're sitting here and studying Bhakti Shastri. It is the reason why we're studying Bhakti Shastri, in order to develop faith, to develop understanding. Yeah, this point, now I understood your point. I absolutely agree, 100% agree that this necessity, people should be conscious about this necessity of spiritual life. This understanding is not always there, but because of sadhusanga, devotees, some of devotees, they can help some of people to understand something of spiritual life. Yeah, you also can go and preach to someone if you wish. It would be nice.
When we go for preaching or book distribution, immediately they said, "I have no time. I'm not interested."
Yes.
These kind of things, So that is how so ignorant they are, What they're not looking into the life in future. It goes like that. Kali Yuga is going on like that.
Yes, Kali Yuga is going on. There are so many
things happening in the world today.
Yeah. And what is the question?
No, this is just a comment only.
Yeah, it is the comment. Very important comment. Like Mahatma Gandhi, he told, if you want some changes in the world, just yourself, you become such a change in the world. Maybe you remember such words told by Mahatma Gandhi. So, yes, the situation is Kali Yuga situation. What we can do first, we begin from ourselves. Then if we can positively influence on some other people, then it is nice. Yeah. Everything starts from ourselves, or better to say from mercy of spiritual masters Srila Prabhupada, who are helping us to do this change spiritual change, spiritual transformation.
Yeah. The other thing, Prabhu, this is my thinking, Sorry to say that. I'm just sharing only.
Okay.
Every day when I go to bed, I don't know whether I'm going to wake up next morning or not.
Yes, it is. How old are you? How old are you?
I'm very old, Prabhu. I'm 78.
78. That's normal.
Very old man.
There are some people who are older.
78 old man. So
okay.
I know that every day I need to finish up my rounds. Even though I'm lacking because I'm still having my wife. She's about 72, I think. If at all I miss, every day she asks me, how many rounds you do? I'm chanting in front of her. She still says something. I said, I did 16. Why can't you do more than that? That kind of argument we're having daily. Sharing daily, So this is the very competitive argument at home. What we have improved, these kind of things. Our children's all already gone out, they are all living outside. Only we are living together. So I'm sorry to share my family. So we are just doing this, doing Mangalarati, and then, how to perfect ourselves. We are not perfect at all. We are just trying to do that. But the fear is there. Whether am I going to wake up next morning or not?
Anyway, at least I hope you will be able to complete Bhakti Shastri course to get the certificate. To get, as far as I understand, it is linked to the second initiation, right? You are going to have it, or you already have?
No, I see my situation. I'm very ignorant, and very foolish guy, very stupid guy. I'm 78.
Okay.
Now only I'm taking my Bhakti Shastri. I should have taken Bhakti Shastri very long time back. Look at my situation, so foolish. Now only I'm coming to Bhakti. Now only I'm trying to realize what is life.
Okay. Krishna takes care of everyone. I think that everything will be good. We should just try our best, and Krishna will do the rest,
Yeah, I'm very happy to see so many devotees who are very much younger.
Yeah.
They're only taking Bhakti Shastri. I'm very old, now only I'm taking Bhakti Shastri.
Okay, Narottama Prabhuji, what is your point? What is your question?
Just a question, Prabhu, in the last section of the purport. Prabhupada writes, therefore, those who are highly developed in Krishna consciousness, is Prabhupada meaning the Uttamadhikari or anyone can preach?
It is purport to which verse?
Let's say the last verse we did here, 15.10.
15.10 and okay, highly
Last
developed,
section,
right? You're saying highly just yeah. Just let me find this place. It is the two last sentences.
Yes.
Therefore, those who are highly developed in Krishna consciousness try their best to give this knowledge to the people in general. And you are asking, it is about Uttamadhikari or not, right? Well,
anyone can preach.
Technically speaking, it is about Madhyamadhikari, because Madhyamadhikari are preaching, and Uttamadhikari already, they are not preaching, because everything goes exactly according to Krishna's plan, according to their vision. Uttamadhikaris, they are already not preaching, and Kanishthadhikaris are not preaching yet, because they are not qualified. And those who are preaching, they are usually Madhyamadhikaris. When we're speaking about preachers, about preaching activities, it is, in most cases, it is equal to Madhyamadhikari level.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, devotees, thank you very much. See you on Monday. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada.